Hi, I'm Marcus, and I'm here once again in the Decaffeinated Horror Studio, where this week we'll be looking at the Giallo Essentials box set, the Black Edition. Thanks for joining me to another week of my vlog. Here we are on episode 4. Already, can you believe it? So, what we're doing here, in case you're new to the channel, I'm building a collection of Giallo and Italian horror films on Blu ray. And last week, we took a look at the Giallo Essentials blue box set from Arrow Video. Today, we're going to be looking at Giallo Essentials the black box set, and we'll do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison. Now, it might look like, it occurred to me, it might look like I'm showing off a little bit, or you're wondering, how much is this guy spending? Is he spending money on this stuff every week? But I'm really not. This all started 2 years ago when I conceived of the vlog. So I just started ordering stuff and buying stuff on sales, deep discount sales, Black Friday sales, that sort of thing. And before you knew it, I had this box of Arrow videos. I had Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday box set from 2024. Bunch of stuff in here. Don't know what it is. 2025. And here we have a bit of a collection to go through. So and among those, of course, are the Giallo Essential box sets. Which brings us to this week, the Giallo Essential box set, the Black Session. Really excited about this. So let's get started with Giallo Essentials, the black box set from Arrow Home Video. Now, I chose this one because the movies in this one I feel haven't been over covered, over analyzed. And I also think it'll make a good side by side comparison with the blue box set. They both have a lot of salacious material on them, a lot of sexiness and sleaze going on. For example, let me just read part of this copy here in the box set. Forbidden love, self flagellating nuns, wealthy degenerates, there's gory murders, wanton debauchery. I mean, left field plot twists. What more can you ask for a Giallo box set? Um, and yeah, all the movies are lovingly restored in 2K. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Each of these box sets, by the way, they all have the restoration in 2K. They all have commentary by Giallo experts and film critics. There's trailers. All right, here we go. The black box set. Let's slide this right out of here. And hope we get a good look at this artwork. Love these hard cases that the Giallo Essentials come in. So we're going to take a quick look at the Killer Reserves 9 seats, which I have not seen, so I won't be able to talk about too much, but it's a good look at the cover. So, brief synopsis here. Okay, so basically, a wealthy man invites an assortment of degenerate wealthy friends, it sounds like, into the countryside. They get trapped inside an abandoned playhouse and start to get killed off one by one. So it sounds like it's one of those Agatha Christie 10 Little Indians movie meets a Giallo meets a mass slasher movie. So it sounds pretty slasherific. So I haven't seen this one. I'm intrigued. Can't wait to check it out. And of course, you get the reversible sleeve where you can display it either way in English or the Italian. Oh, yeah, and these great little booklets that they come with. Whoops, that's okay. We can edit that out. So that's the Killer Reserve 9 seats. I look forward to seeing this. Next up, take a look here at Smile Before Death, the 1972 Giallo. Beautiful cover. This is actually a new cover, I believe, created for the DVD release, or Blu-ray release, rather. The original Italian movie poster is inside. You can display that either way. Now, this movie is prime. I've seen it before. It's prime, sexy, and sleazy Giallo. I promise you as much, and you're going to get it here. So, the basic plot of this is that teenage Nancy 18 plus, teenage to be very clear, returns to see her mother after being away at boarding school, but she's been gone away for a couple years. The mother died of apparent suicide. The movie opens up with her death, though, which is pretty brutal for a suicide, but it did get ruled a suicide. Um, yeah, so she moves in with her stepfather and his mistress, who also happens to be a fashion photographer, because there's always a fashion photographer if you're in a Giallo film. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, there's a web of lies. Not everything's what it seems. Um, there's double crosses. Who's manipulating who here? And then, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the song from this movie. Everyone, if you've seen it, you know the song. It seems a little out of place. It's a very cheery for a Giallo movie. The do 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 do. Anyway, um, but yeah, this is a movie is a ball. It's a lot of fun. There are a couple other characters in there, possibly red herrings, or possibly they're involved. So before we get towards the end of the climax, as the movie is going on, there's just a lot of nakedness in this movie. This girl goes from meeting her stepfather's mistress to trying taking photos with her because she's a photographer, fashion photographer, and before you know it, it's escalated to she's taking nude photos of this young girl. Yeah, all things happen very fast. So the whole movie, you're trying to like, who is seducing who? She gets naked with the mistress. She gets naked with the stepfather. I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on until you watch it all. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you like 70s fashion and hairdos and wigs, this is also the movie for you because no outfits repeated twice. You get a lot of great fashion. And I did notice I wanted to mention too on the back here, it says there's extended nude scenes are a bonus feature that weren't used in the original film. How could there be more nudity? There's plenty of nudity in this movie already, trust me. Anyway, it does turn into a more nefarious plot towards the end. It gets rather implausibly wrapped up, but that's okay. This movie's a lot of fun. This is just an overlooked Giallo. I'm glad it got this Blu-ray release. And you will be humming that song. Doo doo. All right, and lastly, definitely not leastly, is the 1972 movie, The Weapon, the Hour, the Motive. Beautiful cover. Great little booklet inside. I don't think we need to go over this again, but great packaging from Arrow Video. So this movie, the basic plot, as usual, I can only give the bare bones, but there's a handsome young priest who teaches at a convent. He's also having two different affairs with two local women. So he breaks it off with both of them, and then next thing you know, he's murdered. So, of course, we have a mystery here. Someone saw or knows something. That's all we know. And there are a lot of peripheral characters and a lot of red herrings. So, if this movie, this setup doesn't sound sleazy, well, don't worry, it is. Because there's a couple of steamy sex scenes. There are young nuns showering at one point. There's a fair amount of fun material like that. I will say the middle part of this movie does drag a little bit for my taste. I'm never really that comfortable when the police inspector is like the main character. And in a Giallo, I usually want an amateur detective. So when the police inspector is the lead character, it's not quite as fun for me. The actor was fine, but there's not a lot of violence in this movie. If that's what you're looking for in a Giallo. There is one brutal murder in the movie for sure. But this is a fun little movie. It has what I thought was going to be a really dark ending, actually. I thought, are they really going to do this for the ending? That's not what happened, but they still wrap it up in an interesting way. Um, Interestingly enough, there is a plot point in this movie that is shared with Smile Before Death. Coincidental, but I don't really want to say any more, but you will see it if you watch both these movies. So yeah, this movie is not as fun as Smile Before Death, but this is a good time as well. So the question is, which of the two box sets that we've reviewed so far is better? Last week we took a look at the blue box set from Giallo Essentials, and I want to talk about it again because at the time I'd only seen two of these movies. This past week I went and watched the third movie, which is the 1970 movie, Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion. So I watched that, and brief summary. The main character, she's happily married to this successful businessman, and she's being stalked by someone who claims to have dirt on her husband. Try not to reveal too much. Anyway, this leads to the stalker blackmailing her into having sex with him. And it kind of escalates from there. He gets more blackmail material on her and is manipulating her quite a bit. Now, this movie, it's not as fast paced as some Giallo, but that didn't really bother me. I found it pretty engrossing. I enjoyed this movie. Oh, there's also another character who is her best friend, who is also her husband's ex-girlfriend. So there's some suspicion there. Basically, there's a lot of paranoia. There's drug taking. There's a lot of alcohol in this movie. And this woman is just being pulled in every direction. Who's manipulating her? What is going on? Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but anyway, I did enjoy this movie. So, looking at the box set on the whole, we have. Oh, by the way, Ennio Morricone did the score for that movie. He's fantastic. He's done like literally hundreds of scores during his life. He did The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. He did Untouchables and some De Palma movies and some Argento movies. And his scores are they're always slightly different and they're always great. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But so that movie was good. If you watched last week, you know I love Death Walks at Midnight. That was great. And Death Walks at High Heels, which I didn't like as much. I still had a fun time with it. I just thought the pacing and structure was a bit, well, bad. They crammed too much in at the end. But so, which one is better? I'm gonna have to say, comparing the two, the blue box set is the winner. This is my favorite of the two. This was a lot of fun. I hope that came through in my description of the movies, but I'm going to rate the blue box set slightly higher. If you can only buy one, buy this one. I would. So in future weeks, I look forward to looking to the other three box sets. I want to rank all five, and there's some great movies in there. So we have a lot to look forward to. I may break it up with a few other Blu-rays that I want to check out, but I appreciate you watching every week. Please, please, please give me a like, subscribe on YouTube, find me on Blue Sky and Twitter and Facebook, and we will see you here next week. Another fine addition to the Decaffeinated Horror Movie Shelf. Stay tuned next week.